Howdy folks, Grok the DuckFarmer here, and I'm on the FTOG Stoneblock server, and it's time to be a little serious. I've got my serious bow tie on, because we're going to talk about being a good server player. Because, you know, there's a lot of people on the server. Now, it's a little bit later right now, and we don't have as many, but earlier today, there were 21 people on the server, which is a lot of people. And you gotta behave differently when you're on a large server versus, you know, a tiny server with 1-2 other people, or when you're playing single player. You know, do anything you want single player. I don't care. But when you play on a big server, things are different. And so probably the number one rule, if you live by, will save your bacon on a server. It's not a race. Now, I know you like to do stuff. I know you like to dig and to gather resources and have all the stuff, and everybody wants that. But on a server, if you are racing to have all the stuff, you may be tempted to build duplicates, where you sit there and say, okay, I've got to have all the iron. So I'm going to build a processing plant that is going to, you know, say, mine the void. And one is good. It's tier 6. It's fully operational. How about 10? Okay, let's get 10 void miners and 10 quantum miners, and let's do a whole bunch of sifting. You see where I'm going? You get to the point where you've got lots and lots of duplicates of things, and each thing is providing tick on the server, and the server has to process that. It's not a race. If you want to zoom through and do multiples of, that's a small server thing or a single player thing. But on a big server, take your time. There's a bunch of people that you can chat with, and maybe do stuff with and talk with, and those people will like you more if you're not nuking the tick on the server. So number one, you know, look about how you can limit your tick, limit your footprint on the server as far as stuff is concerned. Now, looking around here, I've done a few things here to limit my tick. Now, one of the things I want to do here is I want to get rid of all the stuff, you know, like my sieving that was here, that's all gone. Over here, all my hopping bonsai pots, which I love, are all gone. I put them in here because currently right now, I've got tons and tons of resources here. I don't need to have those hopping bonsai plants, particularly when a lot of these things are full. Okay, you know, I'm only half full on the saplings, but I don't need that many saplings. This I'm still running, and it is putting stuff into my drawer here for all the compressed cobble, because there's a use for that later, and this is minimal tick. But all these hopping bonsai, that's a lot of tick. And so, I don't need them. I've decommissioned them. Likewise, over here, you know, moved my sifting stuff over to here, but I'm not really sifting right now. I am still using my smeltery a little bit when I'm processing some things or to combine some stuff. But when I'm done, and you know, I'm probably close enough to done, I'll go ahead and just break this. I'll toss my controller in here. Now these are just so many blocks, and they're no longer requiring a tick on the server. Now I've got some hoppers underneath here, and so they're checking the contents of the container above. And so, to be nice, getting rid of some hoppers would probably speed things up too. Still using the lava here, so I'm going to keep that in place. Sometimes I use that as fuel for my furnace if I'm doing a whole bunch of burning. But I may swap out these hoppers for containers that aren't nearly as ticky as hoppers are. And anything that can tick repeatedly, like this redstone clock, I always put a lever on it so I can turn it off, which is useful. Now, over here, you know, talking about limit myself, this is a 9x9 plot of ground, and that's all I have. I don't have anything more. Now, I do come over here and I'll harvest the wheat because I'm mainly using the seeds for breeding. But the wheats are also good if I need to build some more of the hatchery or roots stuff. But just looking at here, I've got a lot of wheat, but not as much seeds. Let's go ahead and snag 2 of those. I do have one of these tier 3 growth crystals in place, and I'm really liking it. You can see it really improves the growth rate here. But I've got a second one and a tier 2 and a tier 1. Should I shove them all in place here? No, I'm not growing that much crops. Mainly what I'm doing is I'll come in here, I'll do whatever harvesting I need, and then I'm over here for a while doing some stuff like checking the chickens, and it can just grow over there. So that tier 3 is great. I don't need more than that. All right, let's come in here and talking about chickens. Yeah, that's it for my chicken setup. And that's mainly because I've got some diamonds here. I want some diamonds. I need some obsidian, the osmium too. It's got some clay here, some soul sand, and I'm breeding up this obsidian chicken. Let's see, more obsidian, yay. Oh, 10, 10, 10 eggs. Cool. Let's go ahead and I will put them here, and this one's partially growing, but we'll toss that 10, 10, 10 in there. And it keeps the hatching growth, which is very nice. The others I just toss. I don't need them. Oh, no chickens. Oh well. These guys that have sprouted, like I want to take this guy. He's got 12 minutes, and I could feed him, or I just hit him with this, drop him again, and now he's fully grown. Now the breeding cooldown is really ticked up. You can see it's 34 minutes, but I don't really need him to breed per se. Let's pull you out, throw you there. Bye bye. And they drop the loot. Where'd my other guy? There you are. Come to Grok. And we'll stick him over here. And then I'll just take a look at some eggs. Now he is a 333, and these eggs are 545. And the 544, that can go away. Goodbye. And I'll hold on to this 545 and see if this guy will produce something better. Because if he does, then that's what I grow over there, and we continue. Now, I could set up a processing setup that will go ahead and generate the 10 10s that I need. And that's really handy. And Nonsanity showed off a really cool setup, and you should check off his video, link down in the description, where it talks about breeding them up. Very slick. And if I really wanted to, I could set one of those up and run that. Having a dozen of them doesn't make sense. Not on a server. You just need the one. And I'm doing just fine with this setup here. Maybe I could move these guys over there so I'm not running back and forth nearly as much. But I'm okay. And when I'm done with something, like looking at these guys, I've got a lot of chickens. I've got a lot of these 10, 10, 10 irons. I don't need more iron. I'm good. I've got my 10 to 10 redstone. When I'm done with the redstone, I put them back, and I don't need them anymore. These aren't constantly running. I could have a roost up for each and every one of my chickens, but there's no need, because I don't have that screaming need to have all the stuff here. But Grok, you've done that before in another series. Yes, I have. It was a single-player series, and I had a big wall full of chickens. And I had pretty much every chicken that had a resource that I wanted, and they were all feeding them into a big wall of storage drawers. But it was single-player, and I didn't care. The pipes were mechanism pipes, and they would cause some serious tick on big servers. Much as I love mechanism, not always a good server player with other mods. So keep a good eye on to what you're doing, because you don't want to be somebody who builds something ugly that looks like this, where it's spilling stuff all over the place. That all causes tons of tick, especially if you've got lots of living entities, chicken, sheep, cows, whatnot, all roaming around. They're causing lots of tick because they're constantly saying, hey, do I want to go over there? Yeah, do I want to go over here? Do I want to eat the grass? They're constantly causing the server to work. And so there's no need, especially in a setup like this, to have them spilling out all over. That's bad planning. Another example, depending on what sort of piping you're using, you could have an overflow of cobble, like you can see here. There's tons and tons of ways where you can do things poorly. Now, am I a perfect server citizen? No. I have caused my own a massive amount of grief before. In fact, this is a picture of me causing a big lag fest on the server. Just see how many villagers are there. We were down to 1 frame per second. Don't do that. It's bad. So that's what I'm saying. Work with ways that will eliminate the badness, and then people won't be screaming and chasing you down, and the admins will hate you forever and all that sort of thing. So just do a few. Now that I've got a couple 10-10s, well, I have one set of 10-10-10s. He can go away. Oh boy. Oh, one more strike. There we go. Now that I've got a 10-10-10 and 2 more over there, I'm going to shove them in there. They're going to be processing, getting me some obsidian. Once I've got a couple stacks, I probably won't really need more, because that's just kind of the way it is. Now, speaking of limiting your footprint, if we take a look here, claim chunks, I've got a lot of claim chunks just because I can. It's not a problem. I've got everybody has a 1,000 by 1,000 block chunk of area that's yours. Whether or not it's claimed, and I could claim it, it's still yours. This is my one and only chunk loaded area, and I don't always have this chunk loaded. I think with the stuff that's going right now, I really don't need it chunk loaded right now. So I'm going to unchunk it. There we go. Gotta claim that there. I'm just going through claiming everything that I can see. So the less chunk loading you can do, the better it is on the server, because when you log out, it's not causing any tick on the server. So be nice that way. And different server rules will have you do different things. I need to harvest that. I'm looking at clearing this out and having some decoration in here, partially because I want things to look nice, and I prefer all the grass on here. But even though it's savanna grass, I do want to have it look better, and that's part of that. Don't race. I could rip through, get all the quests done, and log out, never play anymore. But I like to live more than just in a square chunk of stone. I would like to actually make things look good. So that's why I built a dome here. Got these little dome things, and I'm still thinking it's pretty bland. It needs some building up. So that's why I'm moving everything out of here, just so I can spend some time making things look pretty. Yeah, it's not anything for a quest, but it looks good when it's going to be done. I think the roof needs to go up a whole bunch. Raise the roof. Yo. Yes. So one of the things that will help with the server tick is to spread your stuff out. So if I had from bedrock to build height, all my machines and all my storage and all my processing and everything, if I chunk load that chunk, everything in there is chunk loaded. Everything is being processed. It's fully grown. So by having everything spread out, when I'm not here, if I'm doing a whole bunch of say, crop work, and I do want to get a harvester so I can actually grow up some stuff, when I've got that in place, I only need to load that one chunk, and then it's just these crops that's growing, and not everything else, chicken and everything else causing server tick, because that's not really good. And just being a good citizen, remove stuff that you don't need. I don't think these are actually being ticked or looked at all the time, but when I'm done with sieving, yeah, I'm taking these all out. I'm going to drop them into this chest and be done. Actually, I need to grab 4 dirt. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because now I've got dirt ready to fill up that area when I'm done with it. Just, clearing things out. Just being a good server citizen. And normally, when people are on, I'm chatting with people. I left the chat comments on just so you can see there's stuff going on. typically, I love being able to say howdy to people that log onto the server and talk to them and answer questions and, crack jokes and stuff like that. If I'm not chatting with what's going on and saying howdy to people, it's because I'm either AFK or recording. Or maybe I'm really focused on something. But typically I'm interacting with people because I don't have to race. Now, speaking of racing, or not, a Mega Torch. I went ahead and dropped that down here, built it so that I've got no more of those evolved Endermen running around. Because that causes a little bit of tick. Not that I care too much because they're free Ender Pearls. That's always very nice. But it's nice to get those out of the way. And I'm looking for my... Oh, where did I drop my... I did a... Now you're seeing all my junk. Where? Oh, fine. I'm going to build this over here. I need this glass, and I'm going to... Why am I there? There we go. I'm going to sit there and make that. This should be... Oh, that's stained black glass. No, I don't want stained black glass. I want the dark clear glass. Oh, does this have to be... Or is it a different recipe? Nope. Looks like I need to do something else because I want to change my mob farm. And looking at this, that's clear glass. Do I really need an Ender IO thing to do that? Blocks light, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Looks like I need, definitely looks like I need to make me an alloy smelter. Oh well, I will do that later. Oh, he's grown up, but I'll deal with him later too. Oh no, I should be a good server citizen and pop him like that. And toss him in there. All right, there. So now he's not roaming around doing stuff. All right, ranty over. There's another thing I was going to find, but I can't find where my ink sacks are. The dread lamp that comes... dread lamp. Where does it come from? Tiny Progressions? Torchmaster. This prevents passive mobs from spawning. That's one of the reasons why I'm growing some obsidian. And it needs an ink sac. It doesn't use anything else. Well, where do you get your ink sacs? You can do a 5x5x1 water and then put a squid bait in there, and that'll do it. Or what I did is I went to Botania. I had some black ink over here. From these black flowers. I got 8 petals, because just grew them with the bone meal, surrounded those 8 dye around an egg, made a black egg, threw it in the chicken, grew them up, put them in the roost, got ink sacs, got about a stack of ink sacs overnight, and so that was sufficient, and that's how I was getting my ink sacs. Not that I can find them anywhere, they're around here someplace. Other thing that's being nice about a good server citizen is don't block your portals. If I were to put, it's stone on the back end. If I were to put some gates right here, you as the owner of this chunk could walk through and open up the gate. But everybody else who comes through here would be stuck inside the portal and would have no permissions to open a gate here. That's a problem. They would be stuck. They couldn't go back, forward. They couldn't make any chats because you can't, when you're in a portal, you can't access stuff. You just locked them in. So that's a bad thing to do. Now this lapis glass here means people can walk over this, which is very nice. But the mobs, if you've got pigmen, they fall in. That's a problem. Now currently I've got the punji sticks at the bottom, so it will go ahead and kill them because I don't want them roaming around. Again, 1, they're really annoying, and 2, they're mobs running around the base causing tick. So I don't want that to happen. Now, what I don't have going on right here, I should have a chest here with a vacuum hopper or something underneath it, so any drops they spill will be picked up. So I don't have any objects sitting there waiting for 5 minutes to despawn, because that's not a good thing to do either. Always handle all the drops. But I'll do that. I just haven't done that yet. Talking about mob farms. Do you love this bug? Yeah, because my pick it gives me invisibility. For some reason, those guys kind of pick up on that. And I don't know why, but they do. And so what ends up happening is they get this weird sort of look. Roxy, are you going to bonk the microphone with your tail again? That's not being a good server player. No, you're causing problems. Okay, you can sit right there. So I've got 3 of these. No, do not pick. But there's one. Yep. Isn't that cool? You just right-click on the trophy, and occasionally, after a timeout, these wither skeleton ones will give you a skull. That's so cool. The creeper trophy explodes. The zombie goes, and the cave spider poisons you. So I suggest don't do that very much because it's not a good idea. I hope that stops real soon. I went ahead and upgraded my mob farm. Oh, stop it. I'm out of food. I upgraded my mob farm because I ended up killing the wither skeletons enough. Witch water, oh, so good. I was able to change out this 9x9 area for dirt and put in there the drop of evil, which now this is cursed earth, but because of the light, it stops them from spawning. I moved this cobblestone border around out. So instead of having these slabs here, I want the dark glass so I can see it better and fewer sniping from the stupid skeletons. Which, again, having a mob farm, great. Go ahead and make them. You get some really good resources from that. That's definitely a good thing to have. But you really don't need to run it all the time. I've probably, the entire time I've been on the server, I've probably run this 10 minutes. That's my guess. Once you come into, this is off right now, so it's good. Thump. Once you get this fully loaded with looting and the beheading, it works really, really well. The extra damage is good, but looking at the stuff, a lot of these, well, this section here is full. Some of these are full. It's not too full, not too full, not too full. These are kind of the small bits, but these two are the biggies. So what I've got over here, always handle the drops. Just one of those key server sort of things. In this case, this is handling the XP, getting rid of that as a fluid, and then it's piping the stuff into the drawer controller. Was going into the crate underneath it, but that was just standalone. This now goes to some trim, which goes down through to here and connects to these chests. So all these crates work together, or these drawers work together very nicely. Which is very, very handy. Now, this one pipes into the bag storage so I can handle it. And I got 88 bags worth of stuff in here. And then anything that isn't already in these locked drawers goes here, where another setup like this sucks it down into this crate. And I've got some niter. I'm not really sure where that niter came from. I'm not really seeing a... It may be one of those rare drops of something. I don't know. Anyway, that way I can catch stuff, and this hopper has caught things as I've broken blocks. It's picked them up and dropped them right in there. Now, eventually, when I have this all set up, I've got all the bags that I need to do. I may get rid of all this stuff. For right now, let's say I don't need this niter. This right here is my get rid of stuff bag. You can go in there. You can go in there. I don't need you. No, I'm going to hold on to that to see how much the other one handles. Being a trapped chest, it means that nothing gets sucked out by any sort of conduits until the chest is closed, because it's causing a redstone signal that's locking everything below it. And as soon as I close it and open it back up, it's gotten rid of a few things. It's got rid of a few more things. There's another one of these extra utility bits moving to a trash can down there, and it's all gone. So it's a way of not having extra crud lingering around. Now, occasionally I've been coming into here and grabbing one of these epic loot bags. when I have enough, and drop that in there. Oops, looks like I got a single. Where'd you go? Oh, it was a single cobalt ingot. And this was producing a lot of the stuff that I wanted, which was great, because specifically I was looking for, nope, wrong thing, this one here. I was looking for a spectre coil. That generates RF, free. Acceleration 1, that's really cool too. But I was looking for getting one of those, and so I looked in the loot bags. It looks like it's only in the Epic, so I said, okay. And in the second loot bag I opened, I got one. So I went, yay, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I don't have a single RF thing on here. In the whole time I've been playing, I don't have a single RF running thing. But that'll change. I've got that there because I don't feel like I've got a race. I do need to build some way of getting some dark glass here, which I guess is the Ender IO. Thought there was another dark glass. I'll have to look it up. And hopefully that will get things going for me. It'll look better. Oh, the lights, I used to have levers here, but you can see I've got some redstone receivers next to each one of those lights. And over here is my on-off switch. And it's powering this block, which is turning on this redstone, which is going into the transmitter. And that's how that's working. So I tried doing it with the transmitter right up against this this oak block. It never worked. It needed that redstone in between, and I don't know why. It meant okay, it's working. That's the way it's going. Anyway, so I dug an extra tall hole over there and put one of those torches. What's the name of this torch? It's the Ender Tether. I kept thinking interdiction, but that's not it. The Ender Tether, so when I take this roof off and it's 3 tall in here and I want to spawn some more Endermen because my torch prevents the enraged Endermen from coming up, they'll start spawning in here. I'll have the witch water turned off and, or maybe not, I kind of like the lots of wither skeletons. And when they start teleporting because they hit that water, they'll teleport right in there, fall down on top, take damage, teleport, fall down, you know, all that. It will work out nicely. But yeah, I don't need this running continually. I don't need pretty much anything running continuously at this point. I do need some apples. I am out of food. Let's get some more apples. And I'm going to go ahead and cook these up over here. And it's about time for me to get some RF goodness going on. Pick all that stuff up. It's a bad idea for me to have these roaming. There you are. This should be going. You are a 10-10-10, so you can now go into here. And you can get me some more obsidian. I may AFK here for a little bit and get like another stack or two, but I think that's probably it. I'm not going to get more of these unless I need it for down the road. How are you doing? 1. 99.9. Ooh, you're almost done. 2. Yay. One of the things that will happen with these, it's hard to see with any of these. Sometimes when you come in here, there you go. Here's a negative going on. And it's because there's a known bug that's fixed, but it's not actually had a new update released since, well, we're looking at 10 months now. But when you look at it from outside, the progress is telling you exactly what's going on. 7.9, 8%, etc., etc. So that's what's going on. Ooh, diamond. That's a 545. 555. We'll go with that one. All right. And I'll just keep processing these. And slowly but surely, it'll work. But yeah, I've got a lot of the beginning living taken care of. And it's time to make things look a little bit nicer. You know, I don't have to worry about food. Don't have to worry about the mobs attacking. I've got a bunch of resources. It's about time I make things look better. Because I like that. Anyway, this has been Grok the Duck Farmer, having a blast on the FTOG Stoneblock server, and you can join it too. Links down in the description down below. Just, be nice, play well on the server, and don't be a jerk. We'll have fun. Thanks for watching. Bye.